Welcome to the Carlton Draft halftime break. Matthew Lloyd with me and Porter hanging in there, mate.
They are coming off a 95-point loss to the Cats last week. It's been an inspired performance there against the toughest team in the business, the Saints.
Absolutely. Well, the other game being played is at the MCG, and all thanks to OPSM. The scoreline midway through the third quarter, and can you believe it, Melbourne 11-7, leading Brisbane 5-6. Petard, Sylvia and Trengove amongst the goals for Melbourne. Brendan Favola with 3 for Brisbane. But it's been an outstanding game. Before we get into the highlights, let's hear a little from Chairman Jim Stynes, who, of course, had some recent surgery, back in an official capacity for the first time tonight. Here's a little of what he had to say pre-match.
You had a beer last night for the first time in 6 months. Is this correct?
Yeah, well, I tried to have a beer, had half a beer, and I feel like I've had the worst hangover of all time. I still feel like it, but look, it's just great to be, like, as we all know, footy's just such a great leveler, but when you win, there's just no subsidy and substitute.
It's a great story, and Jimmy's witnessing another fantastic Melbourne display, Matty.
He is, Chris Owen. Just their style of play tonight. It's actually reminiscent of Geelong in the way they bring it through the corridor, fast-paced. They've got solid defenders in Frawley and Warnock, and it's just been Davies, Sylvia, they're finishing, Jones even using the ball a lot better, so they'd be very excited tonight. Yeah, they're going pretty well. Well, half-time, as we've just seen from Amy Stadium, and Port Adelaide trailing by 9 points. Not too many goals kicked, only 6 in the first half. Montagna and Corns, the leading position winners on the ground. But an interesting incident early on in the first half, Matty, with Justin Kosicki. Now, he just missed 3 weeks. What'd you make of this? Well, he's going to be fine there because he actually missed Logan, but he's just got to get down lower, and Logan won the ball more than Cozzy did, and we saw in round 1 here on Nick Malcheski. He's missed 3 weeks. He's just come back in the side, so he's just got to get down lower and try and win more of the footy because he's only had the 2 kicks early in the match. OK, absolutely. The final score this afternoon at the SCG, the Swans and West Coast and Sydney comfortably over a lacklustre West Coast Eagles. Daniel Bradshaw. Now, this has been an outstanding move by Sydney to get Bradshaw along, 31 years of age. He's now kicked 17 goals, Matty. He's just been in outstanding form. He has been, and there's no better club, Chriso, than the Sydney Swans, and getting players not happy with the Lions trying to trade him, and he's been a revelation. He's still quick off the mark. He's got good hands. He's a beautiful kick. He has been missing a few early in the season, but what a target to go to. Do you think he's benefited from the fact that he's the key forward rather than having Jonathan Brown there? No doubt. He's just been a foil, and he knew he was just the right-hand man at Brisbane, but now he is the key man. There's nothing better as a key forward playing at the SCG. You get plenty of opportunities. Yeah, 17 goals already, so doing it wonderfully well, Daniel Bradshaw. Got to get to a break, but after the break, the biggest story in town, Melbourne Storm. Craig Bellamy, the coach, spoke today, and news about Billy Slater. Is he switching codes? Yes, welcome back to Carlton Draft halftime break, and time for the big hits of the week. And what about this, Matty? Jimmy Stynes, straight out of hospital, straight to the MCG. He's an absolute inspiration, Jimmy Stynes, and he was there to see 2 wins in a row, very rare for the Demons, and tonight he's probably going to see a 3rd. Whew, amazing stuff. Melbourne playing very well. And what about this bloke? Outstanding last week against the Dockers. Stephen Milne, 5 goals. And that was the best of them, Chriso. Nick Riewoldt out, first game out, and Milne came to the party and stood up for the Saints. And a nice little high five here, just with a... There you go. In the hurdy pocket, Chriso. And what about this? Your boys, the Bombers, got absolutely flogged on the track. Yeah, there's the old-fashioned Kevin Sheedy training. No footballs out on the track, Chriso, and getting them ready for the big Anzac Day clash tomorrow. OK, should be a great day at the MCG. The Brute big hits on Saturday night football. And we're looking at the big hits again next week. Time now to cross to the offices of the Herald Sun. Say a very good evening to John Ralph. Good evening, John. And talking about the Bombers and the Magpies, the big game tomorrow, any late changes?
Well, certainly, boys, a raft of prospective changes here. We've seen a lot of action or non-action in the VFL today. Now, Collingwood, Tarky Lockyer and Lee Brown, both of those guys didn't suit up. Now, you'd think that Brown's out just for insurance, but certainly it's supposed to be a pretty wet and wintry day tomorrow. You'd think that Lockyer could easily slot into the lineup with McCaffer and Dawes and those sort of fellas, Reid as well. Certainly, you see some swaps there. And just for Essendon, now, Monfries has been in a bit of doubt, but we expect he will play. But Alwyn Davey didn't play today. He's probably likely to be the insurance. You'd think that Monfries definitely gets up. I think Essendon will play as named.
OK, mate. Angus Monfries there with Dr Bruce Reid and Coach Matthew Knights just talking through. But you have no doubt he'll play, Matty?
Yeah, very confident. Spoke to him through the week and he's wrapped with how it's going.
OK, fantastic. Now, Johnny, the biggest story in town, of course, is the Melbourne Storm. And for the first time, Craig Bellamy breaking his silence this afternoon. Are you there, John?
Yeah, absolutely, boys. Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic today. He said some great stuff about we're staying together, we want the team to stay together. I think, sadly, there's definitely going to be some people that are taken away from that, but he was united with the team and basically was really proud of the way he spoke.
All right, let's hear a little bit from what Craig Bellamy had to say. No, we're not going to get there. What about Billy Slater? There has been some talk that Billy Slater might be switching codes. Tell me it's not true, John.
Well, not just Billy Slater, but also Greg Inglis. Now, we can confirm to you that the Greater Western Sydney side will certainly have a real crack at one or perhaps both of these players. Now, the ace in the hole, of course, is the rookie list, that they can put them on that before they come into the competition. They could pay them up to $1 million. Both those players named today as part of the documents that actually confirm that they did break the salary cap. So you would think there's no way the NRL will let both of those players stay at the Storm. I think they could easily go to a club like Carlton, who has seen them close up, or obviously the key would be Greater Western Sydney.
Good on you, John. Thanks for that. We'll catch you later in the fifth quarter.
Thanks a lot, guys.
John Ralph there from the offices of the Herald Sun. Back to AAMI Stadium.